Anyway, up next, we have our headliner, great guy, Chicago comedy staple. He loves what I call him that. Friend of mine, he's leaving soon. Great comic, all around, just good guy. Here we go, Will Peck. Come to the stage.
Thank you, guys. How are we doing? Are we good? Yeah, I like how Noah brought me up based on the content of my character. You know, he was like, "This dude's not that funny, but he's a good guy." Yeah, Angie was great. That is the last time I will follow a Korean Oma after. You know, like I was back there. I was like, why are all my trauma responses activating at once? Why do I feel like I'm at the YMCA? You know? Why do I feel like I'm at an after-school program right now? That's good. These are nice chairs. That is where my parents would have been if they... I look down there, I just see the spirit of my grandpa, and he just nods once, like he understands. And he's just like, I don't know what he's saying. That's what he's saying. But yeah, I'm good. Thank you guys for coming. This is the last one that we'll have of these. I know. Yeah. Who's been to this show before? Woo! Who's the first time this has been to this show? Woo! Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You guys don't sound that excited, okay? I was like, who is here? Yeah, and you guys are woo. Yeah. We're gonna have to do this one more. Okay. Who's here before? Thank you. Who's here for the first time? Oh my God. Yeah. But no, thank you guys for coming. I am leaving. I'm going to South Korea for a bit. Yeah, I'm doing some stuff there. My mom was kind of weird about it. I was like, don't be weird, you know? Like, I told her I was going, and she was like, I'm gonna go with you. And it will be the last time I ever go! I was like, just go, you know? That's the thing. Like if you're a bougie immigrant, you travel because you want to go somewhere. You're like, oh, it'd be nice to go to the Maldives. We could go to Italy, you know. If you're a broke immigrant, you travel because you have to rectify some shit that happened in your past. You're like, I gotta go. I gotta say some shit to my mom before she passes away. But no, I originally came here for school. I was an English major, very literary. And so I read a lot of books, right? But I also watch a lot of garbage on the internet and absolutely nothing in between, right? So all my friends are like, hey, Will, have you seen Ms. Marvel? I'm like, have you read George Eliot's Middlemarch? And or seen that racist wife swap episode? Dude, it's an insane episode. Yeah. Makes dating very difficult too, because if I'm seeing someone, and they're just like, oh, can we go outside and watch the new Thor? I'm like, no, we're gonna stay inside and watch this wisdom teeth removal animation that the YouTube algorithm has blessed us with. That's what we're gonna do. They're like, then we're gonna have sex? I'm like, no, we're gonna watch Shrek without Shrek. That's what we're gonna do. That shit's 4 minutes, is it not? Yeah. This is fun. We're kids of immigrants, right? Is that what we said? We're all kids of immigrants? Yeah? We're good. We're because our parents are up here just being all toxic and shit, and then we gotta front that, and then the kids are down here and we gotta be like, just normal, Like that, I'm not, stuff, and then let's go to soccer, We're all just holding back everything, and we're just like, hurt people will not hurt people. And then you gotta turn to your kids, eventually, if you decide, who knows, and you gotta be like, hey, laser tag, it's fucked up, I'll be like, someone said some shit to me, but I can't say that to you. Cannot say that to you. I'm good. But no, I'm a kid of immigrants, and when you're a kid of immigrants, there are certain things that you got to do because your parents were too busy figuring out American society, Too busy in that first leg of that relay race, right? Like, my dad was always too busy just translating Hot Pocket instructions into Korean to teach me about bullies, right? I was like, Dad, can you teach me the ways of the world? He was like, sorry, son, I'm too busy creating the lean cuisine Rosetta Stone. That's what we're doing. Yeah. But no, I got bullied for being both fat and Asian. And there's no chapter in that English as a second language textbook that'll teach you how to tell Benjamin to go fuck himself. You know, there's no chapter in that, right? And so I go to my mom, like, Mom, dealing with these bullies, can you help me, right? And she tried her best. She was never helpful, okay? She was like, okay, how about this? Tomorrow, you will go up to those bullies and you'll try saying this. Hey! Is your mouth asshole? That is a slow burn. That is a slow burn. Take some thinking to figure out what that means. I was thinking about it, I was like, Mom, that is actually very literary, you know? Like there's almost something like Shakespearean about that shit, right? When you think about it? Like, Hawk, is your mouth asshole? For it doth spew with the shite. Into those porches of mine ears, you know? Yeah. I love my mom. She's a very literary person. Yeah. But she's no help with bullies, so I go to my dad. I'm like, Dad, dealing with these bullies, can you help me? And he's equally, if not more, useless than my mom is. Right? My dad's like, okay, how about this? Tomorrow, you will go up to those bullies and you'll look them in the eye. You will look them in the eye and you will say this. Hey! Stop it! Cut it out! I have not tried that. I have not tried that. We're going with the same strategy that factory chickens use on their way to the electric bath. Didn't know. That is a great plan. But that's the thing, though. Like, if your parents are learning English, they haven't figured out the subconscious rules that go into insults, you know. So a lot of times they'll give you garbage, but every so often they'll give you gold, right? I'll give you guys an example. One time, my dad got so mad at someone at Best Buy that he called that person a very goofy movie. It was insane. He was all like, fuck you, motherfucker! You are a very goofy movie! I was like, damn, Dad, that shit is baller! I'm gonna start doing that, you know? Yeah. If you can tell my dad's a real fuck bitches, get money kind of guy. That's his style. He used to work at a Costco and he'd tell me about the racial politics of the Costco storefront, right? He'd be like, William, you can't just hang out with whoever you want, you know? You gotta play the political game. You gotta know the lay of the land. I know when I go in there, all the white people hang out over here, all the black people hang out over here, and so I hang out with the Asian microwaves. That's my friend group. His best friend is one of those Samsung smart refrigerators. That's his pal. But yeah, over the last 5 years, he's been getting kind of radicalized on the internet. Any of us have parents whose political views are just purple hyperlinks? Any of us got that? But no, my dad's not going that way. My dad's going very far left. Like I'm the conservative one when we go to Thanksgiving, right? It's weird. Like, we're just sitting around the table, silence. My dad gets up. He's just like, William, I think I'm the third gender. I'm like, you are not. You are not. It's definitely not male, female, 60-year-old Korean dude. That's not how it works. No. because he's trying to get woke in his 60s, which you shouldn't do, right? Your job is to get woke in your 20s, surrounded by like white women with nose piercings. Like that's the rules, right? And so my dad's just reading stuff online and saying whatever he wants to say. And yeah, he's messing it up, right? Like I'll give you an example. My dad cares a lot, just a lot, so much about like indigenous, native land back movements, right? And nothing else. That's his only jam. It's insane talking to him, right? Because he'll just be like, William, did you know that all lives matter on this stolen land? Like, what am I gonna do with this guy, you know? Like, you should hear him talk about Mount Rushmore, right? It's insane. He's like, William, Mount Rushmore has no right to exist. I'm like, dude, we are Korean. Like, there is nothing that you could have done. At this point, that shit seems like it's already set in stone. Yeah, don't clap for that. Stop. You know, that doesn't deserve that. But yeah, English is my parents' second language. We got genius parents here, yeah? You're like, no. We all have left. We all have left at the playground for too long while our parents went shopping trauma. That's the, you know. Very true. But yeah, no, English is my parents' second language, and I'm very proud of them because I'm like, yeah, it's hard to operate daily in a language that's your first, you know. But sometimes I feel like they're getting a little bit too proud of themselves, you know. Like, for instance, my dad has this app on his phone, and every day it gives him one new SAT vocab word. So every time I call him, he tries to work in at least 5 new SAT vocab words into our conversation, right? He'll be like, William, how is it hanging out with your very gregarious friends? And then he pulls out a very long pipe and a horn of ivory. And he goes, I'm too incorrigible for you. Yeah. He's also bad at messaging. Do we have parents who are bad at messaging here? Any of us? Yeah? What do your parents do or not do? How are they bad at?
My mom used to spell Coke as
Cock? And how long did it take for you to correct you? Still, probably.
I was like, Mom, you know what cock is, right?
And what did she say?
She was like, oh, what is it?
And then that you had to give the sex talk to your mom.
We're
Yeah.
actually very close. Like, she knows I'm kinky.
Okay.
And she told me that she called the cops on my ex because of the bruises on my leg.
Oh my God. Claps for that. Yeah, that's very good. Is she? Are you first gen or are you the kid of the immigrants? Oh,
I brainwashed her.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Leftist now.
It's so fun when you get to do that, you know? Like my dad's just like, what does he say? Like my parents are just like, I'm not a communist, I'm a democratic socialist. I'm like, you got them, you know? You got in their heads. High five, man. Yeah. Where was I? But yeah, my dad's bad at messaging though. I don't know. Like he puts too much into the family group chat, right? I'm like, I don't need to wake up to your paragraphs, right? Don't put the family history into the family group chat. We don't need that, right? Like my dad will be like, William, it was 1982. Chondawan was the military dictator of South Korea. I had yet to see my first white titty and Adam Sandler feature film. I thought Welcome to America, you know? I'm like, stop, okay? Yeah, I also need to teach him about context too, because I'll get all these messages that are kind of weird, right? They'll be like, William, I need to talk to you. Something serious happened, your mom is in the hospital. Minions emoji. Like, what is that? These aren't punctuation, these are images. I don't know. I said the thing about my parents here, but I don't think I could ever bring my parents to a stand-up show, you know? Like other comics will do that. They'll be like, oh yeah, my parents are in the back, and they're looking, and look at me, you know. I can't do that. I look at them. I'm like, you guys don't have the cultural competency or knowledge or care enough to like figure out what's going on right here, you know. Like if my parents were here right now, they'd be like, what kind of fucked up ritual is this? You know? Kind of pagan bullshit is our son up to right now, right? And it makes sense because like in South Korea, there's not really like a conception of stand-up comedy, really. You know, it's like emerging right now. It's not there, right? And so like most of the comedy there is slapstick, right? And so when I say I'm doing comedy, my parents think I'm gonna be running into a wall as fast as I can holding a birthday cake, right? They think I'm just gonna be dropping a hilarious amount of ping pong balls, right? Something that's genuinely funnier than the stuff I'm doing right now, definitely. You know? You're like, I would like to see him drop a bunch of ping pong balls. Yeah, that would be nice. But no, I showed this out to my dad once, and he supportive, visibly angry. No, visibly angry. Okay. Like he was watching, and was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is? Was this a very goofy movie too? You know? It was a weird feeling because I don't know. Not many people get to have the experience of being in a room with someone who's just getting angrier and angrier and angrier at the fact that you're not falling in a tub of whipped cream, right? Yeah. Talk a lot about my dad. I can talk about my mom too. My mom has all these stories that she uses to discipline her kids because she thinks that trauma is wisdom, right? Does that make sense? I love the yeahs. That's a lot of fun. You guys are like, yeah. My mom's like, I lived through shit, and that makes me wise. I'm like, you could live through shit and be dumb. Like, that's also a possibility. No. But all her stories start the same way, you know, just a very subtle, hey, you never know! You know? You never know! You know? And then she'll start her actual story. She'll be like, I was a college student in Seoul in the 80s. I was in a cafe. A bomb went off. There was glass everywhere. I go outside, and from the top of the building, I could see a girl, one of our classmates, throwing political leaflets into the street. Right? And then I saw a police officer climb up that building, grab that girl by her hair, pull her inside, and we didn't hear from her again, right? And then I'm like, okay. I will put this bag of Kit Kats back where I found it. And I guess we'll just enjoy the sweet taste of American freedom. I think that's what we'll do. I like the groans. You guys are like, oh, that's too real. That's too familiar for us. But yeah. What else can we do? I grew up kind of broke. Is that a thing any of us did? Yeah. It's like when you grow up broke, it's not like you're broke. Your parents are broke, right? You're just chilling, you know? As long as you don't pay attention, right? If you pay attention, you're like, oh man, it's not cool to share one pair of sneakers with you and your mom. That's not like a cool thing to do, you know? Those sneakers saw 24-hour usage. Do you understand? I don't know if you guys did this, but I took a lot of no bubble baths. You guys ever take the no bubble bath? That shit is awful, right? You can just see your naked body in the water. I remember being 13, just watching my penis float around. Just moving with the current like it was ocean fauna, you know? I was like, boy, my body in this water looks like a bunch of hot dogs in a New York City hot dog cart. I hope someone picks me up and puts me on a comfy little bun. I'm a little hot dog on a comfy little bun. I like putting that right next to the civil unrest in South Korea bit. That's so fun. But yeah. Yeah. When you do stand-up, you interact with a lot of older dudes. And I'm a younger dude. I'm 24. We're kind of like youngish people? Yeah? So I was like, yeah. I don't know. I always feel too old and too young at the same time. I don't know if you guys feel that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, and a lot of older dudes, they'll be like, oh yeah, like the 90s, the 80s. Like, that was the time to be alive, right? And I get that sense of nostalgia too, right? But it's just like my sense of nostalgia is like 2014, you know? Like ISIS was my nostalgia period, you know? Like a pivotal part of my like my first sexual experience, it was just like a journalist being murdered in the background. Like that's what I was doing. I was like, dude, are you seeing this? But I think one thing that I miss about that time period from 2008 to 2014 were the songs, right? Like not to be like all songs these days as a 24-year-old, but I feel like songs these days don't have as many O's or what-os as they used to. You guys know what I'm talking about, you know? Remember 2011? All songs were just like, whoa, whoa-oh, whoa-oh, whoa, whoa-oh, whoa-oh. And then in 2012, the Lumineers were like, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey. And that was music for like 5 years, right? I was thinking about it. I was like, I think before the O's and what-os, I think it was really the shooby-dooba. I think the shooby-dooba were the O's and what-os of yesteryear, right? Man, if I heard the shooby-dooba today, though, I'd call the police. I'd be like, there is a groovy hate crime around this corner, and I can definitely tell, you know? But yeah. You don't have to be quiet while I drink water. You could talk amongst yourselves. But yeah. I don't know, we can do some other stuff. Okay, I don't know if you guys feel this, but I really miss sexually developing. Right? Because I'm like, this is it, man. This is the final form? And the final form has high blood pressure and IBS? Like, what's going on, you know? Yeah. I think also I miss the process, you know? Because when you're sexually developing, the whole thing is this fun adventure, you know? Like, I don't know if you guys feel this, but I really miss my childhood sexuality, you know? Like, I miss being like a sexual being as a kid, right? Because it was fun, you know? Because it's like when you're a kid, you're not really taught by society what's attractive and what's unattractive just yet, right? And so you're just supposed to like come up with a sense of what's attractive out of nothing, out of nowhere, right? I'll give you guys an example. Personally, I got my first erection from an episode of Caillou. You guys remember Caillou? I remember Caillou. Bald Canadian kid. It's really a show about nothing. It was really the Seinfeld of children's television, was it not? And it wasn't the episode itself. It was at the end of each episode, there was always this like live action section, right? And this one in particular was about eating right and eating healthy. And so it had all these people dressed up as different foods. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Dressed up as different foods, dancing around, right? And that image just set something off in me. Oh my God, you know? And so from that moment up until like 6th grade, I was really attracted to people dressed up as food, right? Like I'd go on our computer, type in food costumes. People dressed up as food, right? And I didn't know how to jack off either. So what I did is I laid a blanket on the ground, and then I straddled it, and then I lifted both ends up as high as I could. No one teaches you, okay? You gotta figure out life on your own, right? You gotta mature. You gotta be like, oh yeah, I don't need the blanket, you know? I can just use our coffee table. You know? But then as I got older, it just went away, right? Like I just stopped being attracted to people dressed up as cake, right? And so I remember being 15, just watching like normal-ish porn. And I was like, oh yeah, thank God that food costume shit went away, you know? Thank God it didn't persist up until late. You guys are like, he totally still has that. It's gone, okay? I can't prove it. You have to take my word for it, okay? Jeez, oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. I think sex ed is wasted on the youth. You know? Because we're like, you know, we're older. I need sex ed now, you know? I need a gym teacher to come into my life and teach me how to put condoms on without ruining the mood. That's what I need. Like the last time I did sex ed, I was in 8th grade, right? And that class was too advanced for me. They were like, dude, you're definitely fucking. I was like, I don't know what a hypotenuse is, right? Like, believe it or not, that class was the only time that I ever cheated off the cheerleaders in our school, right? I was like, hey, you guys tell me where the G-spot is. I'll tell you guys what Huckleberry Finn's really all about. That's it's pretty racist. I think you'll enjoy it. But no, now I'm older. Now I have narrow and deep research questions about the human sexual experience, right? Like, I don't know. Do you guys know how to make a dental dam out of a condom? Yeah. We got some genius in here. Yeah. You cut the top off, and you cut the line, yeah, and then you open it, and then there's your dental dam, right? And they taught me that in the sex ed class, right? But it's like they'll teach you that, but they won't let you practice. And I could have used the practice, right? Because in reality, you're supposed to create the dental dam and be sexy and keep the mood at the same time, right? And that's impossible, you know? Because what's going to happen? The person's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm so horny. And I'm like, great, let me do some crafts. You know? Do you guys know how to blow directionally into the condom to figure out which way it goes? Is that a thing that we know? No? Oh, well, I guess the gym teacher has become the gym master today. That's what's happened. I'm fucking at a postdoctoral level, you idiots! My dick is moving through both space and time right now. That's where I'm at. But yeah. One more thing. Are you guys familiar with the concept of soaking? Is that a thing that we're familiar with? You're from Utah? Hey, okay. Well, for those of us not from Utah, soaking is this like sex loophole that people will do where it's like you know, the penis will go into the vagina or vagina on the penis, and you'll just stay there, soaking, right? And so it's like you didn't create the motion of the ocean, you didn't sin under, that's the sex part, you didn't sin under God, you're still good, right? You're just like, oh, I just happen to be here, you know? Now, another thing that they will add to that is they will have a third party jumping on the bed, and so they'll be creating the motion of the ocean, and you'll be like, oh, I just happened to be in this situation. Let's see how they got it. It'll be good, you know? And I was thinking about it. I was like, you definitely need a spring mattress for that to work, don't you? Can't do that shit on memory foam, right? We have all seen the commercials. Like, imagine a Tempur-Pedic commercial where the dude's jumping on the bed. But instead of a wine glass, it's just like a Mormon couple not coming. I'd be like, dude, that's a pretty good mattress. Yeah. I'd definitely buy that. Yeah. I think we can do one more sex thing. I don't know if you guys feel this too. You guys are like, please don't, but I don't know if you guys feel this, but I think we're getting kind of subby as a society, like sexually subby as a society, right? Like if you go online, everyone's just like, daddy hit me, daddy spanked me, daddy spit on me. Whatever happened to daddy? Stop flashing back to the Korean War, huh? But no, I think currently in society, we are at a 1 dom to 5 sub ratio, right? And guys, it's only gonna get worse, you know? Like, we're gonna become a society of all subs, you understand? Like, CNN is just like, dude, the housing market is gonna fuck. I'm like, no, there's a much bigger crisis on the horizon. Like, if you're a dom in society, you're doing God's work, right? You're taking care of the community. It's a needed skill. You can make money being a dom. There are dominatrices, right? If you show up somewhere as a sub, people look at you and they go, oh, you're just another mouth to fill, aren't you? Yeah. I know, not the most intellectually stimulating punchline, but it is in the set. I think the reason that we're getting kind of subby is because of Reaganomics, right? It makes sense, you know? Because it's like the gutting of social programs since the, it's like, when have any of us felt security? Like true security in the last 40 years, right? And so the only way that we can feel secure is in the arms of a big mommy or daddy dom, right? Like if I were in the arms of a big mommy dom right now, I'd be like, oh yeah, this feels like Medicaid. That's what this feels like. This feels like a remote job with excellent benefits. That's what I'm feeling right now. Yeah. You guys have been great. I'll do one more thing. I don't know. I grew up around, I think I just think, yeah. Again, thank you guys for coming again. Like, this is the last one, and I'm going to be off. And then, but yeah, thank you guys. But yeah, and then, yeah. This is very nice for me, too, because, like, a lot of times you'll do a show, and then you'll be like, oh, it's like an all-Asian lineup. And I'll just walk out, and it'll just be a bunch of truck drivers from, like, Utah, So it's nice to, like, have an audience that will vibe with you, right? And I grew up around a lot of white people. Is that a thing that we did? Yeah. Go around very I dated a few too, and it's like, I don't know, is that a thing that we do? I don't know, for other than like tax purposes, I don't know, I think it's fun all the way, like I think the whole thing is fun, right? Like, okay, but the dating's okay, dating is just, dating, that's easy, that's just like, let's go to Panera again, That is an excellent Vox video that you just sent me. That's all you gotta do, right? But no, my favorite part was always meeting the dads. I love meeting the dads, It's a great time. Color drains from his face as he sees the color in your face. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, I just remember coming out into the living room and being like, you did not expect one of these. And then I'd bow and do a little Pearl Harbor. It's a great bit. All right, I've been Will Peck. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Give it up for all the comics tonight. Amazing. And I've been doing this for a few years now. I've done a lot of open mics, a lot of shows and stuff. And I have to say, Ocean Fauna, to date, the most literary dick imagery I've ever heard. And I think that alone was worth coming out tonight. Get home safely, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.